Hey guys, Ray here again, bringing you another sneaker bot tutorial video. Today we have the Nikeshoebot, the NSB bot. At first, it might seem intimidating to use because of all the different options, but once you get used to it, it's not that hard. And I'll be showing you the different options over here as we go on. Now, this bot is great for Shopify and recently did really well on Footsite, and they just recently added Supreme, and they might add Nike in the future according to them. So let's start off with creating a task. So to create a task, you just click Create Task, then you select a site. For this example, I'll just be using Kith, and then you select either the safe mode or the fast mode. Each of them is just different methods, so for me, I rather just put two of them because it's just better to be safe than sorry if one method works and the other doesn't. And then for the link, you just put in the early link if you have it, or you could just put in keywords. And for this bot, you don't need any commas or plus, you just put a space and that's like an and. So like let's say I want, I don't know, the off-white blazers or something. I would just put maybe off-white blazers like that. And if you want to add some negative keyword, you just put another space, put a negative, and just put whatever keyword you want to add. So for this example, I'm not going to do that. But just know if you put in this keyword, if any of the product has some sort of keyword that has off or white and blazer on it, you might pick them up. So just do some tests before you run your actual profile. You don't want to be picking up something wrong and a different item that might cost you. The next step would be to put the number of tasks. So like you could put one here, and for the size you put any size. If you leave it blank, it's just gonna be RA, which is random size, random availability. Or you could put FA or LA, that's like first availability and last availability. And I usually just leave this blank unless I want to go for a specific size. And then for the billing, I'll just put tests, and you see all of these options over here, the advanced tab. There's a monitor timeout, so the lower the number, the faster the task, but you might need more proxy or else you might get soft ban. And use share monitor, I'll explain this later on. So for now, I'll just take this off. And schedule tasks is whenever you want to schedule a task, so whatever time you want it to run or every hour, but I'll just leave this off. Require login is if the website needs an username and a password to log in and check out. Website like Undefeated, Concept, and whatnot. For KIF is usually just guess, so I'll leave this off. And force captcha is if you want to use captcha for this task. So like Undefeated don't need any captcha, so you don't put this on, because then you'll be wasting the captcha. If you put force captcha on, it will always solve the captcha, no matter if it needs captcha or not. It's just more safe to leave it on because most site requires captcha. So for this, I'll leave it on and I'll click submit, and that's how you create one task. Then you just click start all to start the task, stop all to stop all tasks, and manual captures. Whenever you run out of one clicks, this will pop up and down. You know you have to manual solve, but usually that's already an L if you need to manually solve. So just forget that, because I usually don't pay attention to this. And edit all is basically editing the URL, keyword, profile, proxy list, size, and a delay. And what these letters next to them is, it means shortcut. So basically you just hold control and click L, it will change the URL, and control K will change the keyword. Usually if you copy a URL on a site, like let's say KIF, and you edit all URL, it will only change the KIF. Like, it will not change anything other than KIF. So, but if you want specific, you just hold control and hold this task and drag it, and it will highlight those tasks, and then you just click Control, the shortcut, to change the URL, etc. And delete all or delete select, and then you can export the tasks and import it. And in the monitor, I'll show you later. But for now, that's about it for the tasks. Then next we go to the Proxy tab. And over here it's just pretty much self-explanatory. You just add proxy list, name your proxy list, input your proxy. You could latency check to check the speed, validate format to see if your format is correct. It will be all green if everything's correct. Just click submit here. But I'm not gonna do that because I already have a proxy list. Then you could also export your proxy list and import your proxy list if you want. And over here is just a recently new feature that they added. If this is checked, like Smart Local IP Checkout for Undefeated, basically if this is checked, all the quick tasks from Undefeated, like if Undefeated suddenly drop a certain product that you want to go for, you would do a quick task and check out with your local IP, even though you have your other proxy turned on. It's just to make it more like Undefeated will not cancel your order, like something like that. So it's pretty, I guess it's a pretty good feature. Just leave this on. Next up we have billing. And basically over here you just put in your billing, and that's about it. You just click new billing, you put all your information here, tick same as shipping, and all this is self-explanatory. You could also do one checkout per site, or just one checkout per profile, or one checkout per item per site, but I usually just leave it no checkout limit. That's up to you though. So yeah, over here then you do you could just export it, import it, same thing, or you could make a group. Basically you just name the group, and then you just put in all your profiles that you want to be in that group. So if you're making like a task, and you put the number of tasks 1, and you have like, let's say 5 of your profile here, it's gonna make 5 tasks with each of those profile. Yeah, it's pretty useful. Those I have one of them here for most of the card that I use. And that's about it for the billing. Then we have captcha. So over here you could just put as many solver as you want. Usually for me I just put 2 or 3, but usually if it's more than 2 or 3, you might need a proxy, because if you have more than 2 or 3, it might Google ban you. So just be careful with that. And each one will have a different method. So all these are just method, like original, vanilla, hybrid plus, hybrid minus. Basically sometimes they tell you to use a certain method because it's a better chance of getting 1-clicks, but sometimes it's random. Usually for me I just leave everything original unless they tell me to change it, but original supposedly work. But what I recommend is just testing the 1-clicks before the drop with that method to see if this is getting 1-click. If it's getting 1-click, oh, cool, you don't need to change it. But basically just put original, and that's about it. You just watch YouTube video for each one. You just click over here, sign in, and watch a YouTube video for 15 minutes. And after that you just click over here, open the solver, and you will have 2 solvers. And leave this on, auto click captcha, and then you could also choose the method. You could once you log in, there will be a test button up here. Then you could test to see if it's getting 1-clicks, and yeah, and then you just clear the session to like log everything out. And over here, capture retry. Basically what this is it will do, like if I leave it at 1, it will retry this captcha one more time before moving to the next solver. But yeah, and reset captcha counter is just resetting it, and that's about it for the captcha. Now we go on to the profile section. Basically over here you could check for update, or whenever you open the bot there would be a pop-up in the middle telling you to update if there's a new update. Or you could deactivate the bot, and there's also a webhook option where you could put your Discord link in here, and whenever you get a successful checkout, uh, they will send a notification in your Discord. So basically you go to Discord, create a channel, click here, create a channel, and then click this little icon here, click webhook, click edit, copy the link, go back to the bot, and paste it in the webhook option, and you could test it. And if everything's good, everything's alright, you click submit and it should be working. And then the account pool. Basically what you do here is put your email and password in this format. And what this does is basically if an item randomly drops and you want a quick task, some site requires account login. So if you have a smart task on, basically the site that needs account login, they will pull up your account from this box over here. So they will use the first email and password in your account pool to that task. So like a website like Undefeated, Hanin, and Concept, those needs account. So if you have a different email and password for each website, that might probably be harder to do. So I recommend sticking to the same email and password for all the sites. So whatever item that suddenly drops, you will have a better chance because it will just pull up from here and log in and check out for you. And that's basically what the account pool is. So you just click submit, and then that's basically it for the profile section. Then the next section would be cop. Basically over here is just showing you whatever you cop, your history, and you could just clear them, and that's it. So now let's go back to the task section, and I'll show you what a blue task is. Basically for this bot, there are two type of tasks. One's the yellow task and one's the blue task. A yellow task is whenever you expect something to drop at a certain time, so you don't create the task attaching the monitor to it. So whatever we create over here is known as the yellow task. So you will need proxy for the yellow task, and for the blue task you don't really need the proxy because the blue task will not be using any of your proxy. It will only use the proxy when it picks up that product that suddenly drops, and then it will start using the proxy that you attach to the task. So what this means is you could create like a ton of blue tasks. This is pretty useful because a lot of website loves to drop product randomly during a release day for some reason. A lot of them don't want to let you know when the product's coming out, and they just randomly drop, and we don't know the time or anything. So having a blue task is like really useful. So that's a really good feature of this bot, because I could just make a ton of tasks that's blue, and whenever the product decide to drop, maybe like the next few days, you always have to leave this bot running, but it won't be using anything. Like you don't even need any proxy for it. So once it picks it up, it will start running that task and going to checkout, and you could just sleep or do whatever. So now let me show you how to create a blue task. So you go to create task. Let's use the same example, Kith, and save for fast. It's up to you. Keyword, I'll just use off-white blazer. And then number of tasks 1. Leave your proxy as whatever list you want. I go test for this, and then you just tick advanced and tick this to use share monitor. And then this is just a new feature that they added to check out using local IP usually for Undefeated, but I'll just leave this blank. And over here, monitor, you could put whatever because it won't really use that until the product drops anyway. So I like to just use 100 because it's the lowest, and I have the proxy for it, but you don't even need it. So basically just that's all you do. And then For the site, if they require login, you just click require login, and if they need captcha, click force captcha, or else just click OK or submit, and there you go. Turn blue, or you could create multiple of them, and that's how you create the blue tasks. And what triggers these blue tasks is within their built-in monitor. So I'll show you the monitor. So what this is basically whenever a new product gets added to a certain site that they're monitoring, it will pop up on top. So eventually this will go down. So what you do here first is basically fill this bottom part out. So for the size, if you leave it blank, it's going to be a random size, billing, whatever you want to check out as. Just go with test. Proxy list, whatever proxy list you want. Just go with this, and method is either safe or fast or both. I recommend both because that's just a different method. And force captcha is either on or off or both. If you select both, it's gonna use force captcha off with both methods, safe and fast. That's 2 tasks. And then it's gonna use force captcha on with both methods, safe and fast. So total, it's going to be 4 tasks. And smart login, like I said before, in the account pool, if you put it on, then login's on, or smart or off. So if you put smart, it's going to use that. It's going to use that account pool. So once you're done with that, you look over here. If let's say like a hype item just suddenly dropped. Basically what you would do is you would just click play right here, and it will use all these information that you put here and create a task. So if you have 2 of them, like method and force captcha, both, that means it's going to be 4 tasks total. So yeah, you just click play, or you could copy the link, and you could mass change the link if you already have tasks running. But basically that's what you do here. You just click play. And that's basically it for the monitor. If you have blue tasks running, you can click play, or it could just pick it up once it drops, and the blue task will turn to yellow and run. I mean, if you click play, it's going to be more tasks running. So that's up to you. But that's basically it for the monitor. So you could just close this and come back here. Oh, and for the blue task, if you put KIF, it's only gonna pick up KIF. So if you want to pick up any website, you could just come over here, create task, and change this KIF to all. And right here, all, not notify only, this all. So basically, if you do that, you just type in a keyword and tick force captcha or no force captcha. Usually is force captcha, and then create tasks and all that, and then it's just gonna be all. So it's gonna be like something like that. And whenever a item with off-white blazer pop up on any website that they're monitoring, it will pick up and run. So that's it's pretty useful for random drops. So that's how you run the NSB bot. Pretty straightforward. It's only the blue and yellow tasks, and usually I have a file with a lot of blue tasks because there are still items that haven't dropped yet, and I just like to just store them. Well, you know, each new release I like to add more blue tasks and just keep it open because it doesn't really use anything unless the item shows up and pops up, and then it will run, and then that's when it will start using the data on the task, the proxies. So now I'll show you how that yellow task look like after I click run, and it will look like this. It probably will not pick up. Oh, it did pick up. Nike woman blazer mid off white, the color. So basically that's how it will look like, a yellow. That's when you expect the drop to drop at a certain time. That's when you make the yellow task. Alright, so that's how you run the NSB bot. Hopefully this video was helpful because there were a lot of things that were pretty hard to explain, but I think it's pretty straightforward. It's just creating the blue and the yellow task, and once you create a task, you just go to the captcha, select your method, log into YouTube, and watch a video for like 15 minutes, and if the method does not have a one click, it will go to the next method automatically. And that's pretty much it. And whenever there's a quick task that the monitor did not pick up, but you have the URL, you could just copy the URL, come here, Control Q, and then just click OK, and then it will just run with that. And that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and if you guys found this video to be helpful, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And of course, I'll be leaving my Twitter, Instagram, and Discord in the description below. If you guys are still having trouble, you can message me there. And yeah, thanks for watching.